How you doing, everyone? It's Kevin. I'm back with another video. Today we're going to be picking some Chanterelle mushrooms, and I'm going to go over how to prepare these and also how to preserve them. So we're going to go out, get us some mushrooms. We got our new bag here. My neighbor Rick bought me a bag at a yard sale. Pretty cool. Now this is the bag that you want because it's mesh on the bottom. Any spores that'll be able to fall out of the bottom of this. And also, when you're going mushroom picking, I want a way to cut my mushrooms off. Now, I either use a pair of scissors or I'll use a small paring knife, some kind of a knife, pen knife or something to cut them off, and also a brush. Now, what I like to do in the woods is I like to clean my mushrooms before I bring them home. You really don't want to soak these mushrooms, the Chanterelles, in water, because if you do, they're spongy. They're gonna absorb all that water, and they're not gonna really be that good. So let's get out in the woods, get us some mushrooms, get them home, and let's cook them up. Okay, I'm at my favorite Chanterelle mushroom field. This hill gets mushrooms on it every single year. It's usually the first or the second week in July, and we have mushrooms everywhere. So we're gonna check them out. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how you can tell whether this is a Chanterelle mushroom. So we're gonna go down here and we're gonna cut one of these mushrooms off. I like the little feathered ends on it. See the little feathered ends? I like seeing that. And you can see the strips in the back of this, like this. You can see there's no gills. And when you pull this mushroom apart, it should look kind of woody or like chicken breast on the inside. Like a chicken breast. As you can see how it pulls apart. Almost like chicken. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to clean your mushroom. And I take a little brush. This is one of them cheap 98-cent brushes. And I'll take my scissors and I cut the little fine pieces off the end. Because I want them to be a little bit more coarse. Not so fine. Then you take your mushroom and all we're going to do is we're going to brush the mushroom off. Once we get the mushroom brushed off like that, we can throw that right in our bag. Now I do like the bag having the screen on the bottom of it because this will allow any spores or anything that's in this mushroom just to fall out on the ground as we're walking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bunch of these and we're going to take them back to the house and we're going to show you how to prepare them in a skillet for either freezing or to eat. Let me get this bag filled up. All right, our first step is finished. We got them back to the house. Now we got to get them in there and then we'll go to our next step. Okay, Julie's going to rinse off my mushrooms.
You don't want to soak your mushrooms in water like overnight or anything, because a mushroom is kind of like a sponge. It will absorb all the water. So we just lightly rinse them to make sure we get any bugs or loose dirt off of them. And then kind of pat them dry with a paper towel. Just giving them a rough chop here. Of course, you can cut them as big or small as you would like.
Okay, now that we got all of our mushrooms chopped up here, now you don't want to do this in smaller batches, but being that I'm using the Blackstone to do mine, I got a bigger skillet because we don't want them to cook in their own juices. Right now, we're just going to cook all the juice off of them. So I've had this griddle going for a while. We're going to get them all in there. And then we're going to just spread them out. We're going to let them cook all the water off of them. You can see the steam coming off of them. And you can also see the water coming out of them. What we want to do is we want to get rid of all that water. Now if you look at my mushrooms, I don't have a bunch of water underneath of them now. They're dried out fairly decent. We'll keep moving them around here, but they are drying out really good. There's no moisture on the flat stone, which is good. We'll keep moving them around here, get them a little bit more, little drier. Okay, if you look at our mushrooms now, they're not wet at all. They all look decently dry. They're not dried out and crispy, but you don't see the water on the tops of them. There's no water on them, so that's where we want them to be. So what I'm going to do is take some of these out, and we're going to put them out here to dry. We're just going to let them set on here and cool off. We want them to come to nice and cool. But we're also going to leave some on the flat stone so we can eat them. We're just going to lay them out on the towel and let them cool down. Okay, now this is how I make my breakfast bowls, and I use these Chanterelle mushrooms. Now we're going to set these over to the side here. We're going to be cooking over here, but I'm going to take a little bit of bacon grease. Now this is when Julie cooks in the air fryer, she saves me her bacon grease. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to throw some onions and green peppers on there over on this side, and we're going to go ahead and cook them up. But we're going to let these mushrooms just sit over here. It's a little warm, but it's not too hot. A little bit of bacon grease in there. And I got that burner turned off, so they'll cool off there. We're going to stick our onions and green peppers on this side. We're going to let these cook up a little bit in that bacon grease. We're going to let them green peppers and onions cook down. Alright, our onions and our green peppers, they're cooked a little bit here, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to mix in our mushrooms with these, and then we're going to let the mushrooms cook a little longer in there. And they're cooking in that bacon grease right now. So we'll let them cook up a little longer. Now that our green peppers, mushrooms, and onions are all cooked up, they're fairly decent. We're going to throw some garlic in there, a big old helping of garlic, and we're going to stir that garlic around in there. And we're going to let that cook a little longer, and then we're going to get our meat on the griddle. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, these are pretty well cooked. I'm going to bring them over to the cooler side of the griddle. We're going to just let them set over here like that. We're going to do a ½ pound of sausage. We're going to chop it up, turn the burner up. We're going to chop it up. We're going to cook the sausage. I think this is a 1 pound pack of Bob Evans sausage. I'm going to keep chopping this up and cooking it until it's nice and fine and all cooked through. Okay, now I'm going to take my mushrooms, being that my sausage is already cooked and it's pretty good, we're going to go ahead and take our mushrooms and onions and garlic and peppers. We're going to mix that all in with this. We're going to let it cook a little bit longer. And then we're going to fry up some eggs. So on this other side, we're going to fry up our eggs. And we're going to be mixing the eggs in with this. I like to make these breakfast bowls for during the week when I go to work. I have a breakfast bowl. We're going to do a little bit of egg at a time, because these things, I think I need my griddle re-seasoned. They want to stick a little bit, but we'll get them. What I do is kind of make a little bowl in the middle here with some eggs that are cooked, and I can pour some more in there until I get all my eggs out of this bowl. That should do it. Okay, at this time I'm going to use some sea salt. We're going to go over the whole thing. And then we're going to use some black pepper. Don't forget, we already got green peppers, onions, garlic, mushrooms. Okay, our eggs are all finished here. We're going to go ahead and mix them with the sausage, green peppers and onions. And then get everything over here on the side. Chop it up in there. Nice little chunk of Velveeta cheese. Let's set it right there. We're going to let it melt down in that eggs and mushrooms and stuff. This is going to be good. Guaranteed. Now that everything's cooked together, the cheese is melted in there, we're going to go ahead and take it off the griddle and we're going to put it on a pan and we'll let it cool. We'll let it cool on that pan. Now Julie will put them in containers. I work 4 10-hour shifts a day, so she'll make 4 of these. And then every morning she'll have these set in the fridge for me, so when I'm ready to go I can take one of these and I'll heat them up in the microwave at work. Okay, now for long storage on these mushrooms, we have let these cool. They're cool to the touch. We're going to go ahead and put them in our vacuum bags and we're going to vacuum pack them. This is going to make them last for a long time.
This one that I can seal?
Yep. Okay, now that we have our mushrooms vacuum packed in this bag, Julie writes on there what date we put them on. These will last longer than it'll take for me to get another mess of them next year. So they'll last between 12 and 18 months in the freezer, just like this. Now when you get them out, they're going to taste exactly the same. Now they will last indefinitely in there, but the taste may be a little different, maybe not quite as good. But 12 to 18 months, that's pretty good. Okay, that's the Chanterelle mushroom. Really like them in my breakfast bowls, and it saves me from having to buy mushrooms. If you like mushrooms and you want to keep them for a long time, this is the way to do it. And also make sure you pre-cook them and get all that water off of them before you season them. Just as you've seen them on the grill when all the water had disappeared, that's the time you want to add, say you want to add a little butter and some garlic or some chives to them and some sea salt. You could eat them plain like that, or you can throw them over a steak. They're just as good over a steak. So I would like to tell everyone, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave me thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment if you'd like. Till next time.